Hi guys. Sorry I look like such a mess right now, but there are some things I wanted to discuss and talk about really quick. So these are some things that you do not do in a reading. Okay, one, do not go into a reading expecting for your reader to know every single detail about your life, every single detail about everything. It does not work that way. We only give what spirit gives us, and we are a human connecting to another vibration. Number two, do not try to connect with someone that you hate or don't like or don't want anything or never had anything to do with on this side and still have a lot of pain and anger towards. Not only will that block the reading and keep you from getting the message that you need. If you want to connect with someone like that, then please make sure that you have forgiven and you are in an okay place so that you do not block the reading. Also be available to validate and do not leave in the middle of the reading. Even if you don't like what's being said, or say you do like what's being said, don't be rude to your medium. Okay, this takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and this is a service. So we are not in control, spirit is in control. These are things that people need to realize and understand. Also, we only get what we get. Spirit is not going to always be specific. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Again, we are a human connecting to a different vibration. So make sure that you don't go in with any kind of expectations. You go into a reading with an open mind and an open heart, and you trust your medium or your psychic or whoever you're getting a reading with, because they are doing the best that they can. And you can sometimes block that energy by being a skeptic and not being open to it. So if you're going to be a skeptic, that's fine, but still be open to it, because you can block the energy that way. You can block the energy if you feel a certain way about someone. You can block the energy if it's something that you don't want to hear. Look, readings are supposed to be positive, they're supposed to be informative, they're supposed to be healing, and they're supposed to give you guidance. That's what they're about. Okay, never go to anybody that's going to tell you when you're going to pass away, if you're going to pass away, if you're going to get sick. Like, that's all a bunch of hooey, and spirit would not give that kind of information. Yes, they do, but sometimes in certain circumstances, and they have to people, I know that there are people have experienced that, and I have myself, but there's certain ways that you handle it. You don't want to handle it in a bad manner. So do not go into a reading with this closed state of mind and then just take off in the middle of your reading, because you know what, it's not only rude to the psychic medium that's working with you, but it's also rude to spirit. Regardless of how you feel about that person, you shouldn't have decided to speak to that person if you weren't ready to hear what was being said. And sometimes, again, you can block it. um or sometimes they might not give you stuff that you might even know. So just always hang on to everything that you get, because sometimes there may be stuff that maybe you don't know or connects to another loved one that you're not understanding. So that's another thing, is make sure that you think you keep everything. So you keep everything that you get so that you can understand, that this, maybe why they got this information, or um it's something that might happen in the future. Or sometimes I've had people come back to me a couple days later and be like, okay, well, my family member validated this. So do not go into a reading with a negative mindset, because everything is energy. We can feel it. It will block us and it will hinder the progress that we're trying to do. Okay, because we are healers and we are light bringers, and that is what our readings do. And if you're not ready for that, and you're not ready to take a step forward and heal and grow and expand and learn on another vibration, then I can definitely tell you I'm not the reader for you. And I can definitely tell you that there probably aren't a lot of others that are legit that are, because you have to be in a certain place and you have to be ready to accept as well. So keep in mind that a legit psychic medium, nothing comes from them. It comes from spirit, or they're guided to say it. So again, we are humans and we are connecting to a different vibration. So we'll only get what spirit gives us. And sometimes it can be a little more emotional than really factual. Um, and that could just be because that's the only thing they can get through, because maybe they feel like that's what you need and that's what they need. So, make sure that you guys are kind to your psychic mediums. Don't go in with skepticism. Don't leave the reading unless there's a good reason. Like, I understand things happen, but don't just leave without saying anything. it's just not cool. Because, we are, as much as we love to give our energy, we are still humans, and we still feel things, and those that are connected to spirit will feel things a little bit deeper. And so when the spirit disrespected, then we feel disrespected, or we get bad on ourselves, like, oh, I gave a bad reading, but it's not really our fault. So it's either that the energy is being blocked because you're not ready to hear it, you don't want to hear it, or whatever reason it may be, or you feel some way as about someone, or because they don't want to communicate it. And I can say that in the last almost 11 years, well, 10 and a half years, I have never had a spirit not come in that somebody wanted to communicate with. Now, there have been stronger readings and there have been less stronger readings, and there have been now two that I know of where it's not as strong as I would like it, but there's still a few things. But so keep that into account, you guys, seriously. And I think that's all I wanted to say. I didn't want to make this a long ramble. I just want anybody that comes to reading with me or any other psychic medium to please have an open mind, and please do not have things that are above expectations. We are not God. We are not mystical beings. We do not know everything. We only know what is given to us, and we are only given things in a certain time frame for certain reasons. So we do not know the answers to all of your problems. We do not know the answers to everything going on in your life. We can only give you what spirit gives us, and it has to be along that path that you are going down currently, and it has to be for your highest good. That is what spirit will give us. And when it comes to mediumship, I mean, it's up to them what they want to give. Usually they give validation and a message, and usually it's always for your your growth and your healing. That's what it's always for. So keep that in mind, that this is really, it's a spirit thing. And like, there's been times where I get really hard on myself, and it's not, I have to tell myself, like, it's not me, like, I did my job. And that's the thing, is we always do our job. um well, at least I know I do. I can't speak for all the other psychic mediums. There's some good ones out there, but I know that I always do my job. I always give mine 100%. If I go over, I usually don't charge. If I feel like there's a message, I give it. And if I feel like I need to go over and continue to give a message, I give it. And people, if they want to pay, they can. If not, that's fine. If for some reason they take too long to get a picture, I add an extra 5-10 minutes. Like, that's how I am. So I respect you. I expect the respect in return. And as light workers, like, you have to respect us. Like, we're here to bring light. We're here to bring hope. We're here to bring healing. We're here to bring all those good things in life. But if you're not vibrating with someone, then there's going to be, and that means your reader, there's going to be a problem. Like, if you're at a lower vibration, it's going to be harder to get a good reading, especially with any kind of intuitive guidance. So keep this in mind when you guys want a reading or you're getting a reading. Please just have an open mind and an open heart and open energy. Make sure that you're not filled with hate, anger, any of that, because that can really affect the reading. Remember that everything is energy, okay? And again, psychic mediums we're just humans like you guys. We just connect to a different frequency. Like, we're able to tune in the radio and get that channel. That's basically what it is. So our vibration has to raise, and that's why sometimes it can be very draining, is because we have to raise our vibration. They lower theirs, and sometimes they take our energy. So also be mindful of the energy. We can also we can also feel what others feel. I know that I can. So if you're coming at me with this kind of, like, I can feel you blocking it. If you're coming at me with, if you've had hate or anger, or you're expecting something, like, I can feel that, and it puts up a block, it puts up a barrier. So keep that in mind. And I guess I'm putting this out because I'm about to get really even more busy with my readings with a lot of new people, and there's just a couple experiences, and I'm not naming any names and I'm not calling anybody out, but it just made me realize that this is something that I need to talk about and to explain, because I think that people, like, really have the wrong idea. Like, I saw a commentary with the guy that was like, oh, why don't psychics know the lottery numbers and things like that? Well, because we're not supposed to have personal gain in that way, and we're not supposed to know everything. Like, there still has to be surprises in life. Like, we can't know everything. And again, everything comes in a timing. No different than the cases that I work, everything has a timing. So thank you guys for your love and support, and hopefully this was a helpful educational video. I'll see you guys next time.